What is up, y'all? Back again with another special game of the week. This week, we decided after the Patriots-Eagles game that we need another great game. This game right here, Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game is going to be epic. There's a lot to talk about with this game. There's a lot of big names in this game, a lot of what-ifs, a lot of question marks. It's going to be a great game. So, this is our game of the week. Kick us off.
Alright, guys. So, when we go through all the games, we try to find a good game, and then it can't just be good. It's got to be a game we disagree on. So, stay tuned to the end of the video, because me and Seb disagree on who's going to be the winner at the end of this game. So, to start off, my prop for the game is Calvin Ridley over 67.5 receiving yards. He got 93 yards in the first half of the Colts and Jags game, week 1. Trevor Lawrence was just peppering him, man, with targets. And looking back on last week's Chiefs game, when they went up against the Lions, I thought the player to compare Ridley to is Amon-Ra St. Brown. They move around a lot around the formation. They also are the number 1 target on the team. Like I said, they go from outside to inside. They move in motion. The offense is very comfortable with leading with him and being the number 1 option in the air and just period. So looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown, he had 71 yards last game. And Calvin Ridley, I think, is better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Calvin Ridley doesn't even have to go over 71 yards. He's got to go over 67.5. So I got Calvin Ridley over 67.5 receiving yards.
My prop for this game, obviously, the Chiefs did not have any props yet because there's too many question marks in that regarding their injury statuses. They can't add a prop for Patrick Mahomes till they know if Travis Kelce is going to play. That's huge, you know. They just can't add any props because they don't know what the Chiefs offense will look like. So we both have Jacksonville props. My prop for this one, and I think it's a safe bet, Evan Ingram over 41.5 receiving yards. The Chiefs defense ranks 25th amongst tight ends.
Wow. They
cannot guard the tight end. They cannot guard any tight ends. It is sad to see. So I think Evan Ingram has a good game. Think he has at least 50 yards. Man.
Laporta had a pretty good game. The rookie,
yeah,
rookie tight end. For
and
the Lions.
Evan Ingram is better than Laporta, obviously, because he's a rookie. But I think Evan Ingram's a safe bet to have. Now, things do happen, such as injuries and surprises. But for me, looking at this prop, I think it's a smash because Evan Ingram scores against the Chiefs 100%. He has 50 yards at least, so why not take that prop?
So those are our 2 props. Put those together for a power play. Put those 2 props and get your money up. All right. Now, guys, for my fantasy player, and I hate doing this, but I'm sticking with Calvin Ridley, man. I don't like this because I didn't want to be like everybody else. Oh, Calvin Ridley, Calvin Ridley, Calvin Ridley. Like, yes, Calvin Ridley, the hype. I don't like hopping on the hype trains, but I'm all in on this one. Calvin Ridley looks elite. He looks elite. I got him starting, and I think he's going to be a wide receiver 1 this week. He will probably score over 18. Wouldn't be surprised if he scores over 20 fantasy points. Last week, he had 24.1 fantasy points. And last week, once again, going back to the Chiefs and Lions game, Amon-Ra St. Brown had 19.2 fantasy points. This game has a 51-point over-under total. That's a high-scoring game. The Chargers and the Dolphins had around that, and Tyreek Hill had 200 receiving yards. No, Calvin Ridley is not Tyreek Hill, but Calvin Ridley is the number 1 option on that offense in a game script that is going to be high-octane offense scoring points. Like I said, 51.5 receiving points. Start Calvin Ridley with a lot of confidence as your wide receiver 1.
That just hates. I'm sorry. I also have Calvin Ridley as my fantasy player. like EJ said, I don't like to be like everybody else. I don't like to be on a hype train for too long. But man, Calvin Ridley last week really impressed me. Here's a stat that really stuck out to me, and EJ is the one that pointed this out to me, actually. He texted me while I was driving to his house. Dude, Calvin Ridley just had 14 fantasy points in the first drive. The first drive of the game!
Just gave it to him. Just boom,
like,
boom, boom, boom.
Bro! When have you seen a fantasy player ever do that? I have never seen that in my life.
Dude, they just wanted to throw him the ball.
So, that's why I have Calvin Ridley as my fantasy player, because of that one stat that he pointed out to me. He was watching the game live, and he was telling me, Sam, bro, he just had 14 points in the first drive. Not the first quarter, not the first half. The first drive of the game. That could solidify your week right there. That could literally win you a game right there in the first drive.
His projection was 14 points. He hit that in one drive.
So, Calvin Ridley, you should start him with confidence. No doubt about it. There is no question. Start him at a wide receiver 1 if you have him. I have the benefit of having him in one of my leagues. It felt good, but I also had to go against him in this other league. Did not feel good. I won in both of those leagues, so I'm good. However, Calvin Ridley, though, is a safe bet. But yeah, that's our fantasy player for the week. Same guy. I think last week we had the same guy too. We just, man.
And I'm going back to the well, man. Calvin Ridley, he smashed, bro. He just went off, and I think he's gonna go off again against the Chiefs. If Amon-Ra can do it, Calvin Ridley can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have Calvin Ridley in my flex in one league. I have Stephon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb.
You might want to consider Stephon Diggs to your flex now after last night.
Well, I would like to trade CeeDee Lamb with myself being an Eagle, so I got a couple Cowboys.
How about that Cowboys game?
I don't care. The Giants suck. That was more so about the Giants sucking than the Cowboys.
You already know Cowboys fans are.
I've already gone with it. I'm like, really? You guys are going to text me again that you're Super Bowl ready? Like, have you not learned? Again? Another year. You're going to text me that you're Super Bowl ready. Have you not learned from the past? Some things just never change, man. May history repeat itself. Cowboys ain't getting past the second round.
I saw this picture of this like meme where it said Eagles fans watch out, and they had the score of, instead of the Giants, they had the Eagles, and they're like, watch out for whatever week that we play on. And I'm just sitting there like, do I send this to EJ? And I'm like, nah. I'm going to just keep this to myself until the episode.
Well, I appreciate you keeping harmony amongst whoever I was with.
I would not be posting that screenshot here, too, because we are not going to support the Cowboys in any
Yeah, might as well. Let's change the subject, because this just brings me down and puts me in a bad mood. All right, so we're going to move on to the score prediction. And I got this score, decently high-scoring game, both teams in the 20s. And I got the Chiefs winning 27-24. I think Travis Kelce comes back. And even if Travis Kelce doesn't come back, Chris Jones' holdout is over now.
Yeah, it is.
And they agreed to terms.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
Chris Jones coming back. That means they lost one game, and they're now like, we're not losing anymore. Chris Jones, get back. You're the anchor of our defense. Travis Kelce, get healthy. Patrick Mahomes telling his receivers, catch the freaking ball. And another stat I'm going to point out to you is that the Colts had 2 sacks on the Jags.
Yeah.
One of them coming from DeForest Buckner. DeForest Buckner plays the same position as Chris Jones. So, if DeForest Buckner can get a sack or cause trouble against the Jags, I think Chris Jones is going to wreak all havoc, and he's going to show the Chiefs that they're getting their money's worth with this guy. He is the anchor of that defense, and he will be causing problems on that Jags team. He's a massive man with a whole bunch of determination that just got paid. Got Chiefs 27-24 over the Jags.
So with that being said, this week, since I lost last game of the week, I let him choose which team he wants to go with. He chose the Chiefs. That leaves me with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I didn't choose. I said that the Chiefs were going to win, and you were like, I got Jags. That's how that conversation went. I go, you said, ooh, Chiefs-Jags when we were going through the games. I go, I got Chiefs. You're like, I got Jags. Yeah. That's how that happened.
I just had to say something. Realistically, though, Jags could win this game, though.
They can.
Jags could win this game. Jags could very well win this game. if Travis Kelce does not play, which I don't think they play him.
Okay.
This
prediction's based off Travis Kelce not playing.
For my score prediction, despite Chris Jones, being back, I think he'll definitely have an impact. But Jags win 29-22.
Wow, that's a crazy score. 29-22.
29-22.
It's like there's like a safety or 2-point conversion.
Something crazy is gonna happen because both defenses are not good. So one of them is like bound to make a mistake. One of them is bound to do it. And I think the Chiefs defense will make a mistake. Chiefs offense last week was the ones that were making the mistakes. This week, Chiefs defense will be making the mistakes. And I think there's going to be something crazy happening. So that's why the score is 29-22.
First time Patrick Mahomes era starting 0-2.
And I think Calvin Ridley pops off. He's going to propel the Jags over the top in this game. Jags win 29-22, and they're going to set the tone in the AFC this year. They're going to set this tone. We beat y'all now, and we want y'all in the playoffs. That's what I think.
And the Chiefs are going to win the playoffs.
Yeah.
Long story short, Chiefs win when it matters. Chiefs win on Sunday, but he thinks otherwise.
So
we'll see what happens.
EJ got the Chiefs. I got the Jags. You heard it here first. Go check out our Sunday episodes. Those will be dropping. But we'll see y'all on the next bit. Peace.